Chapter 81. The second brother's peach blossom refuses to bloom. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Ruozhu just chuckled, unsure how to answer. I wouldn't dare to dream that big. As long as he's healthy and a decent person, I'll be happy. Zhou Taohua looked surprised. Weren't parents supposed to want their sons to be successful? Why didn't Bai Ruozhu want more for her son? Bai Ruozhu saw her confusion and smiled inwardly. Easy for you to say, kid. You don't get that peace of mind is everything, Zhou Taohua snapped back to attention, a smile returning to her face. Where are you headed? I didn't interrupt, did I? Bai Ruozhu started to apologize, but Fang Guizhi jumped in. We're just strolling. No need to bother you. We can all walk together. Fang Guizhi didn't pick up on Zhou Taohua's crush, but she liked Zhou Taohua well enough. From what she remembered, Zhou Taohua was a nice girl, friendly and chatty. But, Bai Ruozhu thought Zhou Taohua was wasting her time on her brother. Her brother wouldn't be interested in a farmer's daughter. She thought her brother was too focused on his studies to think about marriage. In this kingdom, men often married late, encouraged to establish themselves first. But how long were the women supposed to wait? With that in mind, Bai Ruozhu decided to keep her distance from Zhou Taohua, hoping to nip any ideas in the bud. At the same time, she couldn't be mean. Zhou Taohua was just crushing on him, she didn't mean any harm. Bai Ruozhu didn't have the heart to hurt her feelings. Sure enough, as they walked, Zhou Taohua steered the conversation to Bai Zipei. Sister Ruozhu, your brother Zipei studies so hard. He doesn't seem to go out much anymore. Bai Ruozhu's smile tightened. Yeah, he's really focused. The provincial exams are coming up soon. Tell him not to work too hard. I hope he does well on the exams, Zhou Taohua said, cheeks flushed with shyness. I'll be sure to thank him for you, Bai Ruozhu said quickly, then clutched her side. Oh, I'm getting a little tired. Gotta head back and rest. Zhou Taohua's eyes lit up, and she latched onto Bai Ruozhu's arm. Perfect. I'll walk you. Then I can say hi to your parents. Bai Ruozhu's mouth twitched. Was she inviting trouble? I just want to nap, so I can't keep you, Bai Ruozhu said. Can't let this girl bother my brother. He's too sharp for this. Fang Guizhi wasn't the smartest, but she knew Bai Ruozhu well enough to sense her attitude. Even if she didn't know why Bai Ruozhu was avoiding Zhou Taohua, she'd back her up. Hey, Sister Taohua, let's not bother Ruozhu. Wanna come back to my place and see the flower paintings I've been working on? Fang Guizhi said, grabbing Zhou Taohua's arm even more possessively than Zhou Taohua had grabbed Bai Ruozhu's. Bai Ruozhu almost laughed. Guizhi is so good at reading people. If her mom hadn't been so fixated on sons, she could have been the one in my spot. You two have fun. When I'm feeling better, come visit, Bai Ruozhu added, trying to let her down gently. Zhou Taohua looked a little upset. She started to say something, then stopped herself. Bai Ruozhu winked at Fang Guizhi and headed home. Let's go, Sister Taohua, Fang Guizhi said, pulling Zhou Taohua away with a smile. Luckily, Zhou Taohua wasn't too bummed out and didn't take it out on Fang Guizhi. Soon she was chatting with Fang Guizhi like nothing happened. Bai Ruozhu sighed in relief when she got home. During dinner, she glanced at her brother a few times. He's only 18, how would he react knowing someone had a crush on him? Smiling, she suddenly caught her brother staring. Got something on my face? Why are you staring? So sharp, Bai Ruozhu thought, gritting her teeth, but she smiled. I was just thinking about how I'll have a sister-in-law soon. Maybe two. Lin Pinger perked up at this. Your brother is getting older. Time to find him a match. Unlike his older brother, Bai Zipei didn't blush at the mention of marriage. He just stayed calm, even a little cold, which was annoying. Mom, don't worry about it. I don't want to get married until I've passed my exams, Bai Ruozhu said. His tone was calm, but firm. Lin Ping'er was speechless. He's made up his mind. No one can change it. Bai Ruozhu was bored. Some girls in the village might be sad to hear that. People were asking about you today, you know. She thought he'd ask who it was, but Bai Ruozhu didn't seem to care. What's that got to do with me? He said, well, that's my brother. Seeing that he wasn't biting, Bai Ruozhu turned her attention to her older brother. Lots of girls are probably sad about you getting married, and jealous of Sister Kaiyue. Bai Ruozhu blushed. Little sister, stop teasing me. Lin Ping'er puffed up with pride. I haven't done much in my life, but I raised 3 good kids. Your brothers are the best in the village. Plenty of people want to marry into our family. Bai Yihong chuckled, looking proud. Bai Ruozhu shrunk back. Oops. Me, the one who was abandoned with an MIA husband. Hope my mom doesn't think about that or she'll get sad again. Luckily, the family was distracted and didn't dwell on it. A couple of days later, Bai Ruozhu gave Guizhi over 20 pieces of dried fish to sell in town. The sales were great. Was she always this lucky? Guizhi sold every last one for a tael of silver. Chapter 82. Can you die if you don't have a sharp tongue? You are listening at novelfull.audio. If you strike gold once, don't count on it happening again. Besides, Bai Ruozhu always figured luck was just another form of skill. After asking around, she realized Fang Guizhi was a natural salesperson. She wasn't just bragging to customers, she understood what they were looking for and could highlight the product's strengths. Bai Ruozhu gave Fang Guizhi another 2 taels of silver. Fang Guizhi grinned from ear to ear, then tried to hand the silver back, asking Bai Ruozhu to keep it safe for her. Bai Ruozhu pulled out a small wooden box, put the money inside, and then hid it in a secret compartment under the bed. Don't worry about it hidden in here. It'll be your dowry when the time comes, Bai Ruozhu said, smiling as she patted the hidden spot. The mention of a dowry made Fang Guizhi blush, but her eyes sparkled with excitement. 4 taels of silver was more than enough for most people to give their daughter as a dowry. Even her own mother couldn't have put together such a large sum. Ruozhu, thank you, Fang Guizhi said, her voice thick with emotion, her eyes welling up. Bai Ruozhu couldn't resist flicking her forehead. She probably still felt the sting from her second brother's tap, so she jumped at any chance to tease Fang Guizhi. Silly girl, what are you thanking me for? We're in this together. Bai Ruozhu puffed out her chest proudly. What, we? You're 2 months younger than me, Fang Guizhi said, dodging Bai Ruozhu's playful poke and looking confused. Bai Ruozhu scratched her head, realizing she'd slipped up and used a term from her past life when she was trying to be cool. Fang Guizhi was, in fact, a couple of months older. It just means I've got your back. Age doesn't matter, Bai Ruozhu explained, flustered. Fang Guizhi nodded, giggling. Not only are we eating well, but we're making money, too. Haha. Days passed, and there was still no sign of the baby. Bai Ruozhu started to worry. If she waited any longer, Chill would be swamped. Was she going to give birth while he was at his busiest? Did this kid have no sense of timing? Her predecessor's periods were irregular, and she couldn't remember the dates clearly, so it was hard for Bai Ruozhu to pinpoint the exact due date. But she figured it had to be soon, so what was the hold-up? Maybe she wasn't getting enough exercise. She walked around every day, seeing Bai Ruozhu's anxiety. Lin Ping'er smiled and reassured her. They say babies that take their time are the smartest and closest to their mothers. They don't want to leave the cozy comfort of the womb. They'll be loving children. Was second brother a pain? Bai Ruozhu rolled her eyes. Her second brother must have been difficult. Well, I was swamped taking care of patients at your nurse's house back then. I didn't even realize I was pregnant with your second brother. I didn't have morning sickness, so it took my mother over 2 months to notice. After that, it was still a while. He wasn't early, that's for sure, Lin Ping'er explained. That made Bai Ruozhu feel a little better. She remembered hearing that after giving birth, you still had to take care of the baby, so maybe it was better to keep it inside for a bit longer and avoid the hassle. Tomorrow's the Qiqiao festival. Go out and have some fun with your girlfriends. Maybe you'll relax and the baby will come, Lin Ping'er suggested. Bai Ruozhu hadn't been paying attention to the Qiqiao festival, which was a holiday for young women. Thinking of her goddaughter Romer, she got excited. Mom, I'll go into town to see Renjie tomorrow and drop off some gifts for the Zhang family. Good idea. You should return the Zhang family's gifts. I'll go with you tomorrow, Lin Ping'er said, nodding. Bai Ruozhu wanted to suggest that her mother was too busy and that Fang Guizhi could go with her instead. But then she changed her mind, knowing her mother wouldn't approve, and there was no telling when she might go into labor. Early the next morning, Bai Ruozhu and her mother took a donkey cart to town. They bought some gifts, and Bai Ruozhu led her mother into a jewelry shop. They probably weren't dressed fancy enough, because no one came to greet them. So Bai Ruozhu just started browsing. Mom, what about this pair of earrings for Renjie? As a belated welcome gift, I mean. Bai Ruozhu pointed to a pair of small but elegant earrings. I noticed Renjie has pierced ears, but she's still wearing T-stems. Girls from poor families often got their ears pierced early, but if they couldn't afford earrings, they would wear T-stems in the holes. Lin Ping'er thought her daughter had good taste and nodded. Buy 2 pairs, one for you and one for Renjie. Her daughter had wanted to marry the second son, so the family could save on a dowry, but her daughter didn't even have any jewelry. It saddened Lin Ping'er. Bai Ruozhu waved her hands. I don't want to buy them now. I'm too pregnant to wear earrings. It'll hurt if the baby grabs them. I'll get some when the baby's older. Seeing her daughter's insistence, Lin Ping'er didn't press the issue. But her gaze lingered on a silver bracelet, and she decided she'd buy a silver bracelet for her daughter for the Lunar New Year. Bai Ruozhu bought the earrings and took her mother's arm, leading her out. They started walking toward the Zhang's house. Halfway there, Lin Ping'er slapped her head and exclaimed, I can't believe I forgot. I already paid for that handkerchief. I forgot to pick it up. Truthfully, Bai Ruozhu was struggling to walk, and her pace was slowing her down. After thinking for a moment, she pointed to the tea house. I'll go there and rest. When you're done, meet me there. Okay, that works best. I'll be back soon. Don't wander off, Lin Ping'er said anxiously. Bai Ruozhu laughed. Mom, I'm not a child anymore. I'm not going to run around. Lin Ping'er smiled and hurried back. Bai Ruozhu went into the tea house, found a quiet spot, ordered a mild jasmine tea and a plate of osmanthus cakes, and began eating slowly. Your dried fish tastes pretty good. A man's cold voice came from behind, startling her. Bai Ruozhu's hand shook, and she spilled tea on her hand. Luckily, it wasn't too hot, or she would have been burnt. She didn't even have to turn around to know who it was. How could she run into him here? The man walked over, sat down, and said, Do you still have the dried fish? I want to buy more as a gift. What dried fish? Bai Ruozhu pretended not to understand. Jiang Yichuan was still wearing a mask, but Bai Ruozhu thought she saw a playful glint in his eyes. Your friend said she's from Haoshan village and sells dried fish for her pregnant friends. I think you're the only one in Haoshan village dishonest enough to do that while pregnant, Jiang Yichuan said slowly. Bai Ruozhu's face turned green. What was that supposed to mean, dishonest even when she's pregnant? She was doing what she had to do to get by. Besides, how was she being dishonest? Did this guy have a vendetta against her? Did he have to be such a jerk? Chapter 83 Getting more and more beautiful. You are listening at novelfull.audio. No way, Bai Ruozhu snapped, her anger flaring. Jiang Yichuan, though usually reserved, seemed to enjoy riling her up. He found her flustered reactions amusing, so he'd approached her. The fish itself wasn't important, he could easily find another gift. Too bad, he said, then turned and walked away, ignoring her furious glare. If Bai Ruozhu knew the depths of his teasing, she would have unleashed a torrent of complaints, decrying him for picking on a pregnant woman who couldn't hurt a fly. As it was, she was simply annoyed. His nonchalant dismissal stung. Too bad, he'd said. Was it too bad he missed out on a purchase, or that she missed out on a sale? Bai Ruozhu kicked herself. She should have played it cool, jacked up the price, and really stuck it to him. That would have felt so good. Footsteps approached again. Bai Ruozhu turned to see her mother hurrying over, carrying something. Lin Pinger, breathless from the walk, gulped down 2 cups of tea. Easy, Mom, Bai Ruozhu said, refilling her cup. After a short rest, they paid and left. Bai Ruozhu avoided mentioning the masked man. Just thinking about him made her mad. She didn't want to explain to her mother that she'd already met her benefactor, and that he was a sarcastic jerk. Lin Pinger noticed something was off. Frowning, she asked, "What's wrong?" "Something happened." Bai Ruozhu quickly composed herself, forcing a smile. "Just thinking this place is expensive. It's a rip-off. It is a bit pricey, but at least it's safe. Can't have you sitting on the side of the road where anyone could bother you," Lin Pinger replied, prioritizing her daughter's safety. Bai Ruozhu felt a surge of warmth. Her earlier irritation faded. Linking her arm with her mother's, she headed toward the Zhang's house. They soon found it, and a beaming Ronger greeted them at the door. Her kidnapping clearly hadn't left lasting scars. "Sister Bai. We were just talking about you." Ronger squealed, clapping her hands. Hearing the commotion, Ronger's mother hurried out, welcoming them warmly. "Ronger shot up since we last saw her. She's becoming a young lady," Bai Ruozhu said, patting Ronger's head. Ronger's mother smiled. "She's had a growth spurt lately. Her dresses are getting too short. I was going to fix them tonight." Seeing that it was true, Bai Ruozhu handed Ronger the earrings she'd bought earlier. Lin Pinger gave Ronger's mother her gift as well. "Oh, you shouldn't have." Ronger's mother protested. "You're too kind. Why all the gifts? Don't be silly. If you refuse, we won't come back," Lin Pinger said, feigning sternness. Ronger's mother relented. She took the gifts and set them aside. Bai Ruozhu was already putting the earrings on Ronger. Ronger's mother couldn't hide her dismay. The earrings were exquisitely crafted, solid silver, worth a small fortune. They'd saved her daughter's life. How could they accept such an expensive gift? Ronger. Ronger's mother wanted to scold her daughter, but her happy smile stopped her. This is too much," Ronger's mother stammered, looking flustered. "Auntie, don't be silly. It's a gift for my little sister. That's all," Bai Ruozhu said with a smile, admiring the earrings on Ronger. Ronger, though young, was perceptive. She had let Bai Ruozhu put on the earrings without a second thought, but now, seeing her mother's expression, she realized they were valuable. She nervously reached up to take them off. Bai Ruozhu gently swatted her hand away. "Don't touch them. They look beautiful on you. Just be careful not to lose them." Ronger didn't move, looking at Bai Ruozhu with wide eyes. "Thank you, sister," she said. Bai Ruozhu ruffled her hair, a maternal glow on her face. "Eat well, grow tall, and I'll buy you pretty clothes." Ronger felt a pang of emotion, blurting out, "Ruozhu, you're even more beautiful than last time. I've never seen a pregnant woman look so good. You're just glowing." Bai Ruozhu instinctively touched her face. Her skin was good, but there were no mirrors around. The bronze mirror made everything blurry. She didn't like looking in the mirror anymore, but what woman didn't enjoy being complimented? "Auntie, stop it. I'm getting fat," Bai Ruozhu said, laughing and pinching her chin. "Nonsense. You're not fat, you're curvy," Ronger said. Lin Pinger beamed with pride. "It's true. Ruozhu's pregnant, but it's all baby. She hasn't gained weight anywhere else. From behind, you can't even tell she's expecting." And her skin hasn't gotten worse. When I was pregnant with her brother, I broke out all over my face, she added, pointing to faint marks. Bai Ruozhu was flattered by the compliments, deciding she was no longer fat, but plump. She would simply ignore the basketball on her belly, embracing her inner. The two families chatted for a while, learning that Zhang Liliang was away on business and wouldn't return until evening. Bai Ruozhu thought it was fine. It was easier to talk freely among women. They had lunch at the Zhang's house, with Lin Pinger and Ronger's mother doing most of the prep work. Bai Ruozhu was in charge of the cooking. Who could resist her cooking skills? After lunch, Lin Pinger continued chatting with Ronger's mother, while Ronger took Bai Ruozhu to her room. Bai Ruozhu followed her into the small space, noticing a sheet of paper on the desk covered in crooked characters. Ronger was practicing her writing. Ronger blushed, hurrying to cover the paper. "It's so ugly." "Don't look." Bai Ruozhu had already moved closer. How much could Ronger's small hand cover? "It's very good. When I was your age, I couldn't write as well." "Wow, I'm not bragging. When I was pregnant, I only gained 20 pounds. My arms and legs were almost still thin, my belly was quite big, and my waist wasn't too thick when I looked at it from the back. In the end, my son was born at 6 pounds and 7 ounces. It came out smoothly." Chapter 84 The Old Man's Family Card. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ronger beamed, holding out her little hands. Bai Ruozhu gave her a few pointers, and Ronger's face lit up. She promised to practice her calligraphy diligently. Bai Ruozhu actually envied Ronger. When she was a kid, she didn't even have paper or a pen and would practice by tracing characters on the table with water. Bai Ruozhu noticed some of the words on the paper weren't Ronger's. They were neat, though not particularly beautiful, and had a delicate touch. It was clearly a woman's handwriting. "Is your mom helping you with your calligraphy?" Bai Ruozhu asked. Ronger nodded, looking up at Bai Ruozhu with admiration. "Yes, how did you know?" "You're so smart." Bai Ruozhu pointed to the other characters, and Ronger understood. She giggled. "Mom says her handwriting isn't very good, so she wants me to practice hard to get good at it." Ronger's mother seemed quiet, but she was obviously educated. Bai Ruozhu was intrigued. After asking Ronger a few more questions, she learned that Ronger's grandfather had been a scholar. Ronger's mother had learned to read as a child, but he'd passed away young before achieving any real success. Still, being the daughter of a scholar, she wanted her child to be literate. Bai Ruozhu nodded in agreement. "Ronger, you should study hard. When you grow up, you can help me with the accounts." It was the first time anyone had spoken to Ronger like that, treating her like she was all grown up. Her face flushed with excitement. She nodded enthusiastically. "Okay, it's a deal. I'll study hard." Bai Ruozhu was starting to feel tired and her eyelids were getting heavy, so she dozed off for a bit on Ronger's bed. That afternoon, Lin Pinger took her to say goodbye to Ronger and her mother. Ronger's mother had wanted them to stay for dinner, but figured it would get too late for Bai Ruozhu to travel back with her condition, and didn't press the issue. Bai Ruozhu and Lin Pinger didn't go straight home, though. They went to Fusho Hall. Bai Ruozhu wanted Dr. Lu to check her out. She was a little frustrated with herself. She'd learned Chinese medicine from her grandfather, but hadn't paid enough attention to obstetrics and gynecology, and having never really felt a pregnant woman's belly before, she couldn't even tell if the baby had dropped. She felt a little embarrassed. "It's already dropped. Should be within the next week or so. Go home and rest up. You'll need your strength for the birth," Lu Baishuang said, touching Bai Ruozhu's belly. As cold as ever, used to Lu Baishuang's curtness, Lin Pinger happily paid the consultation fee, politely said goodbye, and helped Bai Ruozhu leave. She'd been talking about it every day, but now that she heard it was only a week or so away, Bai Ruozhu suddenly got nervous and fell silent on the way home. Lin Pinger noticed her anxiety, took her hand, and said, "Honey, every woman goes through this. It's going to hurt, but you just have to grit your teeth and bear it. You'll be fine. Asterisk someone who's never given birth can't imagine how painful it is star. Bai Ruozhu couldn't help but think of that saying. She really couldn't imagine how painful it would be, so she was nervous. At least she knew medicine, and Dr. Liu was excellent. That made her feel more confident. Mom, I'm okay. With Dr. Liu helping with the delivery, what's there to worry about? And the baby's in the right position, Bai Ruozhu said, hoping to reassure her mother. When they got home, they told Bai Yihong about their visit to the Zhangs, and the family got ready for dinner. Bai Yihong had cooked, not wanting to wait for Bai Ruozhu and Lin Ping'er to come back, knowing they'd be tired after their trip. Not many men in Haoshan village would do that for their wives. Even though Bai Yihong's cooking wasn't as good as Lin Ping'er's, Bai Ruozhu was happy. She was proud to have such a father. A man who loved his wife was a good man. Oh yeah, Dad, I ran into Uncle Wang Feng when I was gathering firewood today. He told me to remind you about the meeting at the school tomorrow. The village wants to pick a teacher for the school, Bai Ziho said between bites. Wang Feng was the eldest son of the village chief, Wang Shuzhen. He was calm and capable. The village elders thought highly of him and planned to make him the next village chief, taking over for his father. He also said that the desk you made for the school principal is really good, Bai Ziho added with a laugh. The Bai family had donated tables and chairs they'd made to the school a few days ago. People praised Bai Yihong's craftsmanship. Bai Ruozhu perked up at that. Dad, do you know who the village chief and the others are considering as teachers? I heard there's an old scholar from Shuhai village, Wu Mengwei. His wife died young, and he never remarried or had any children. He lives alone and isn't very well off, but he's knowledgeable and supposed to be a good, even-tempered person, Bai Yihong said. Bai Ruozhu nodded. Anyone who remained devoted to his deceased wife was a man of deep and lasting affection. The village said if they invite him, they'll give him a place to live and let him settle down here, Bai Yihong continued. There's also a guy from town who used to tutor for a wealthy family. Now he wants to retire and come back to the country, and he's interested in our village. Anyone else? Bai Ruozhu asked. Bai Yihong looked a little helpless. Someone mentioned your uncle. It sounds like your grandfather asked them to consider him. They said he's a scholar, and might pass the provincial exam soon. He knows the village well, and his family's here. Surely he'd do his best. Bai Ruozhu rolled her eyes. If he could actually pass the exam, he wouldn't want to be teaching at the school. Yeah, I don't think uncle's as knowledgeable as my brother. If my brother hadn't decided to keep taking the exam for government, he'd definitely be a better teacher than him, Bai Ziho added angrily. Bai Zipei remained indifferent, as if he didn't care one way or the other. Bai Ruozhu touched her belly. Even if her son didn't study at the village school in the future, he was unlikely to be taught by Bai Yiba, but she hated to think the village kids would finally have a chance to learn, only to have a poor teacher. Dad, you can't show favoritism. You need to choose the best person for the job, Bai Ruozhu said, not wanting to be too blunt, but making her point. Bai Yihong sighed and nodded. Not long after dinner, they had a visitor, or rather, an elder member of the Bai family. Yihong, you're pretty well respected in the village now, and your two sons are doing well. Your dad's happy for you, Mr. Bai said, patting Bai Yihong on the shoulder. Bai Yihong was a little flattered. He hadn't gotten much attention from his father growing up. The old man had focused all his energy on his eldest son. Dad, you're too kind. I've still got a long way to go, Bai Yihong said with a slightly innocent smile, not noticing the calculating look in his father's eyes. Bai Ruozhu, sitting nearby, saw it clearly. She rolled her eyes. The old man must want something. He was pulling the family card. Chapter 85. The token is missing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's too bad Bai Yihong hasn't woken up yet. But Bai Ruozhu knows her father isn't stupid, even if he is an honest man. He'll figure things out soon enough. She just dreads how he'll react when he does. Mr. Bai complimented Bai Yihong. Then, seeing his continued humility, nodded, "Don't be so modest, you're different now. Once Erlang becomes a scholar, your standing in the village will be even higher. And," he added thoughtfully, "if you two brothers help each other out, your family's life will only get better." "Brothers always stick together," Bai Yihong replied, completely missing the point. Bai Ruozhu almost warned him, but held back. It wouldn't do any good. The old man wouldn't quit until he got what he wanted. Sure enough, the old man jumped right to it. "We've always been a family that sticks together. You and your older brother have always gotten along. I'd be happy even if I kicked the bucket right now. You're in a better place these days, so I think it's about time your brother got his act together, before he wastes any more time. A guy in his 40s still needs to get his act together. It's been too long already." The old man's got the patience of a saint, Bai Ruozhu thought, seething inside. Understanding finally dawned on Bai Yihong, and his face fell. Remembering his father's earlier flattery, his heart sank. After all these years, his father still hadn't really seen him. No matter how he changed, his older brother still came first. Usually, parents favor their eldest son. It's an unwritten rule. The eldest son inherits the family land and takes care of things at home, including taking care of the elders. Even if the family splits, the elders live with the eldest son. Plus, in big families, the youngest kid gets spoiled. So, the oldest, Bai Yiba, and the youngest, Bai Ji, were the favorites. Bai Yihong, stuck in the middle, was always overlooked. But you can't play favorites too obviously, or you'll break your children's hearts. Seeing Bai Yihong's silence, the old man knew he was facing an uphill battle. He sighed, but pressed on anyway. "Your brother might be a little rough around the edges, but he's got the smarts. Now that you're talking to the school in the village, just give your brother a hand, get him the teacher gig. He's got roots here, he'd be way more dedicated than some outsider. And if he screws up, I'll keep him in line." "Dad, it's not that I don't want to help," Bai Yihong said tentatively, "it's just, what can I say? The village already likes Wu Xiaosi, and your eldest is getting a bit old." The old man glared, but controlled his temper. "Wu Mengwei's knowledgeable, but he's got bad luck. Don't curse the children in the village with that." Even Bai Ruozhu couldn't believe what she was hearing. Wu Xiaotsi's wife died young, so he's bad luck. Back in the day, medicine was terrible. A cold or a headache could kill you. It's not like his relatives were living in misery. Besides, talking trash about people like that wasn't very classy. And this family calls themselves scholars? A tradition of learning? What a crock. "Dad, you can't talk about people like that. It's not like I'm the only one who knows about my brother. How can I just tell the elders what to do?" Bai Yihong argued, clearly upset by the old man's words about Wu Xiaosi. The old man, challenged by Bai Yihong, finally snapped. "I know, I've always cared more about your brother. That's because he's the eldest. Are you complaining about how I treat you, jealous of your own brother?" "Grandpa, that's not what my father meant. We're happy to help if we can, but I can't promise it'll work out," Bai Ziho said, smoother than his father, trying to defuse the situation. Bai Ruozhu knew that if her father refused, the old man would never leave. She winked at her father. Bai Yihong, now trusting his daughter's judgment, reluctantly followed his son's lead and agreed. The old man softened. "Dad, I know it's a lot to ask. But if your brother gets that teaching job, it'll be good for him, good for your family. Ruozhu's kids will get taught by their uncle, isn't that great?" Bai Ruozhu rolled her eyes. "Yeah, right," as if she'd trust him with her kids. Bai Yihong just nodded, saying nothing. He still couldn't stomach what his father was saying. Finally, the old man, having said his piece, stood and left. As soon as he was gone, Bai Yihong collapsed. He slumped on the stool. He sighed, "Do I really have to bring it up at the meeting tomorrow? Maybe I should just say I'm sick and skip it." Bai Ruozhu shook her head. "No way. Then you'll get accused of being an unfilial son." Bai Yihong frowned, sighed again. "What am I going to do? I don't want to do something so awful. Lin Pinger, who never had any trouble speaking her mind, snorted. So now you know you'd be doing something awful. Did you hear the way the old man was talking about Wu Xiaosi? I've never heard such garbage. You just can't be selfish and be a good person. Is that hard? Lin Pinger didn't mince words. Even though she was disrespecting her father-in-law, Bai Yihong couldn't really scold her. What his father said about Wu Xiaosi was awful. Dad, don't worry. At the meeting tomorrow, just say Grandpa asked you to tell everyone that he wants Uncle to be the teacher at the school, Bai Ruozhu suggested. Just mention that he wants Uncle to be a teacher, and even a scholar can get a word in. Whether the elders pick your brother is none of your business. Bai Ruozhu chuckled, those old guys aren't stupid, they see everything. Bai Yihong thought that was a good way out, and he put the matter aside. Still, he couldn't shake off the bad feeling from his father's visit. Bai Ruozhu didn't try to cheer him up too much. He needed to sort things out himself. She went back to bed, exhausted from the day. As she walked in, she felt something was wrong with the covers, but she was too tired to think about it and drifted off to sleep. Waking up early the next morning, Bai Ruozhu felt refreshed, but something was clearly off. She jumped up and checked the secret compartment where she hid her money. Relieved to find that hers and Fang Guizhi's money was still there, she breathed a sigh of relief, but when she looked at the wooden box at the foot of the bed, her face turned white. The jade pendant, the engagement token from Chongsheng, was gone. Chapter 86 Who Stole the Jade Pendant? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Ruozhu felt a wave of anxiety, and the baby inside her seemed to echo it, like it was asking, "Where's the jade pendant Dad left me?" That she wasn't sure if it was the baby or just her own pre-birth jitters, but she was definitely on edge. Her heart pounded in her chest. It wasn't like she even cared about the pendant itself, it was just that it was worth something. So why was she freaking out? But the baby kept kicking, adding to her distress. Bai Ruozhu took a few deep breaths, trying to get a grip. Had the jade pendant been stolen? Or was it just a misunderstanding? With some effort, she got out of bed. She remembered giving her marriage certificate to her mom for safekeeping. Maybe the pendant went with it. Pregnancy brain was making her memory fuzzy. She hoped she'd just forgotten where she put it. She headed straight for the main room. Bai Yihong and Lin Pinger were already up. Bai Yihong was finishing breakfast, getting ready to head out to the fields. Seeing the strange look on his daughter's face, he asked, "Ruozhu, what's wrong? Didn't you sleep well?" Lin Pinger, bringing in more porridge, looked at her too, thinking her daughter was just stressed about the upcoming birth. "Mom, did I give you the jade pendant for safekeeping?" Bai Ruozhu asked. "No, you always kept it with you." "What, is it missing?" Lin Pinger looked worried. Now Bai Ruozhu was almost certain someone had been in her room. She remembered the quilt feeling off when she'd gone to bed last night. She should have paid more attention. It was like her body and brain were moving in slow motion these days. "Last night, when I came in, the quilt looked like it had been messed with. I always fold them neatly. But I was so tired, I didn't think much of it. This morning, the jade pendant was gone," she explained. Bai Yihong and Lin Pinger jumped up. They all went to Bai Ruozhu's room to search again, confirming that the jade pendant was indeed missing. "Dad, who came by yesterday?" Bai Ruozhu asked, her face grim. As far as she knew, Househan village was a safe place. Thefts were rare. People often left their doors unlocked at night. So how could her jade pendant be stolen? Bai Yihong thought for a moment. "Just the guys who helped us build the new house, but they're all old friends. I can't imagine them doing something like that." Bai Ruozhu wasn't convinced. She knew those men, and they weren't the type to steal. Besides, if it had been them, they would have done it a long time ago. Anyone else? She pressed. Just then, Bai Ziho came in from the courtyard, back from cutting pigweed early in the morning. With Bai Ruozhu unable to work and Bai Zipei busy studying, Bai Ziho had taken on a lot of chores around the house. He'd been working so hard on top of the house building that he'd lost weight, but he never complained. Seeing the serious faces of his parents and sister, Bai Ziho looked confused. What's going on? Brother, besides the uncles helping with the house, did anyone else come by yesterday? Bai Ruozhu asked. Bai Ziho, still in the dark, answered, Shiro came over for lunch. Why? Bai Ruozhu's eyes widened. Could it be Xiaosi? The thought made her uneasy. She'd already been disappointed once by that family. If it really was Xiaosi, she'd have to watch out for all of them, even the kids. Lin Ping'er, seeing her daughter's troubled expression, quickly explained about the quilt and the missing pendant. Bai Ziho looked surprised but said firmly, it couldn't be Shiro. He left right after eating. I watched him leave the yard. Bai Ruozhu breathed a sigh of relief. It was a relief, even though she still didn't know who had taken it. But if it wasn't Xiaosi, she wouldn't have that feeling of being betrayed. Then who could it be? Lin Ping'er was getting anxious. That jade pendant is not something you can just lose. Bai Ziho suddenly slapped his forehead. I remember now. Saburo came by yesterday. When I asked what he was doing, he said he was there to get Xiaosi and then ran off real fast. Thinking back, he was acting guilty as hell. Sanlang was Bai Yibao's 15-year-old son, Bai Zheong. He wasn't as studious as his older brothers. He was spoiled at home, probably because his mom had had 2 girls before finally having him. These days, he mostly just goofed off. What? Really? Lin Ping'er was furious. I'm going to their house and demanding it back. Bai Ruozhu thought of Sanlang's face. She couldn't accuse him directly, but she needed to get to the bottom of this. Mom, don't go off half-cocked. Let's all go together and ask him calmly, Bai Ruozhu said. Bai Yihong nodded. I'll go too. The oldest should stay here and watch the house. The guys who skipped out on the housework will be back later. The noise must have carried because Bai Zipei came rushing out from the back room, looking tired. I'm going with you. It wasn't just the oldest brother who'd lost weight lately. The second brother had been hitting the books so hard he was practically forgetting to eat and sleep. Only Bai Ruozhu seemed to be getting rounder. Bai Ruozhu hated to interrupt her second brother's studies. Stay here and study, or get some rest. If we can't handle it, we'll come get you. Bai Zipei thought for a moment but didn't insist. If they don't give it back, tell me and I'll report it to the authorities. Bai Ruozhu realized that people still had a healthy fear of the government back then. As they headed out, Bai Ruozhu started walking too fast. Lin Ping'er, alarmed, grabbed her arm and whispered, Ruozhu, calm down. You need to take it easy. Bai Ruozhu took a few deep breaths. She was furious. Couldn't the people in that family be any more disgusting? Accusing their own family of stealing. Did they have any idea how much that jade pendant meant to Bai Ruozhu and her child? What a bunch of low-down. Mom, Dad, don't just accuse Sanlang right off the bat, or Uncle will say you're bullying the younger generation. Let me do the talking. We're on the same level, Bai Ruozhu suggested. Bai Yihong and Lin Ping'er knew their daughter had a plan, so they agreed. Soon, they arrived at the old house. It was still early, and the family was just having breakfast. Breakfast on a farm was usually just porridge or noodle soup, not worth much. But when the old lady saw them walk in, her face darkened. What are you doing here so early? You didn't even give us a heads up. We didn't cook enough for you all. Chapter 87. Go to the old house to talk. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mom, we already ate, Lin Ping'er said, trying to hide her annoyance and forcing a smile to save face. Hearing they weren't there for a meal, the old woman's face brightened, though her gaze toward Bai Ruozhu remained unfriendly. Bai Ruolin, washing up in the yard, saw Bai Yihong and his wife but didn't greet them. She just snorted, being deliberately rude. Bai Ruozhu knew her cousin didn't like her and didn't bother to acknowledge her. The old man was inside, eating porridge. Hearing the commotion, he poked his head out, frowning. "Second brother, what brings you here so early?" "Something happened related to yesterday." Bai Yihong was taken aback by the misunderstanding. "No, it's not that. It's..." He paused, glancing at Bai Ruozhu. Bai Ruozhu started sobbing. "Grandpa, the jade pendant Chongqing left me, my engagement token, it's been stolen." "What?" The old man was surprised. He knew how important that jade pendant was to her. Before he could speak, Mrs. Wang strolled out of the east room, yawning. "Why bother the old man just because you lost something? You don't think he took it, do you?" Bai Ruozhu fought back a glare. "Of course not. Grandpa's the head of the family. I just came to see if he could help me find it." The old man nodded. "That jade pendant means a lot. We have to find it." The old man seemed genuinely unaware, and his expression didn't suggest otherwise. Bai Ruozhu felt relieved. She had been overthinking. Maybe last night's discussion about Wu Xiaosi had made her suspicious of everyone. "There's been so much traffic at your place lately. I bet one of those construction workers swiped it," Mrs. Wang said, irritated. "It's fine to build a house, but you flash a little cash and this is what happens." Lin Pinger couldn't hold back. She glared at Mrs. Wang. "Why is my family building a house any of your concern? When the eldest gets married and doesn't have a place, you want to cheat someone? How are we supposed to explain that to the Wang family?" "Humph, you make your bed, you lie in it. Why is she so special?" Mrs. Wang, not wanting to offend the Wang family, lowered her voice. Bai Ruozhu tugged at her mother, stopping her from saying anything further to Mrs. Wang that might derail the conversation. "Any ideas?" the old man asked, frowning. He had invited decent people to help with the construction. He couldn't single anyone out. "What about Sanlang? He was at my house yesterday. I want to ask him." Bai Ruozhu suggested. Mrs. Wang jumped. "What are you implying? Lots of people were at your house. Why single out my Sanlang?" Bai Ruozhu looked at Mrs. Wang calmly. "Why are you so worked up? I'm not accusing Sanlang. My brother saw him at my house. I just want to ask if he saw anything strange." Mrs. Wang's expression softened a little. "Well, you better make that clear. People will get the wrong idea about my Sanlang. What if this hurts his reputation?" The old man had had enough. He thought Mrs. Wang was stirring up trouble. He waved her away. "Go help your mother with the dishes. Stop talking nonsense." Mrs. Wang left reluctantly, with a sinister look. Bai Ruozhu suspected she might not know anything. After dismissing the Wangs, the old man called for Sanlang, but he had already heard the commotion and emerged from the house, looking sleepy. Where was the youthful energy a farmer's family would hope to see? The old man felt he needed to save face, so he scolded him. "Sleeping in so late? Your cousin's already out cutting pig feed," the old man said sternly. Sanlang hated being compared to his cousins, always coming up short in one way or another. It was a sore spot. "If Big Brother is so keen, why doesn't he cut some pig feed for me?" Sanlang muttered under his breath. Bai Ruozhu, with no time to waste, cut to the chase. "Sanlang, what were you doing at my house yesterday?" Sanlang's face paled. He was young and easily flustered, looking guilty under questioning. "I was just calling Xiaosi home, then I left." "Why? You checking up on me?" Sanlang said, trying to sound calm, with a hint of a thug. The old man frowned. "Don't talk to your sister like that. She is your elder. She asked you a question, answer her nicely. Did you see anything suspicious?" "How would I see anything? I went in and left right away. Who knows who took her jade pendant?" Sanlang snapped. Bai Ruozhu narrowed her eyes, making eye contact with her parents. All three had caught something. Bai Ruozhu hadn't spoken loudly when she told the old man about the missing jade pendant. Sanlang shouted from inside the house, having just woken up. How did he know the jade pendant was gone? He might be the first to know about the theft. Looks like no one knows who took it. Guess I'll have to report it to the authorities, Bai Ruozhu said, feigning helplessness. That jade pendant was a token from Chongsheng. If he doesn't make it through this illness, it's all he has to leave his kids. I have to get it back, no matter what. She pulled out the card from her second brother. Luckily, the magistrate is supposed to be smart and honest. He'll send someone to investigate. Plenty of neighbors around here, someone must have seen something. The old man frowned. Is it a good idea to get the police involved? You might offend someone. Finding the real thief and letting him go to jail clears the suspicion on the neighbors who helped us with the construction, so everyone doesn't feel uncomfortable in the future, Bai Ruozhu said, handing the card to her father. Dad, I need you to do me this favor. Second brother's going to town. Is there going to be a village meeting? The old man was still focused on Bai Yibo becoming the teacher, and suddenly became anxious. Bai Yihong shook his head. If I can't find Chongsheng's jade pendant, I can't explain it to the child in Ruozhu's belly. I can't wait any longer. It'll be harder to catch the thief if we wait. I'd better go now. He gestured to leave. Bai Ruozhu pretended to mumble under her breath, let Mr. Li help me catch the lowlife who stole it. That jade pendant is still worth something. They'll throw him in jail for years and make him suffer. I heard in prison they give you rotten food every day, and you get beat up by the guards and the inmates every night. It's not worth sacrificing your life for a jade pendant. Chapter 88 The Sudden Appearance of Xiaosi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After all, Sanlang was only 15, and already feeling guilty. Bai Ruozhu's words only made his face darken and his hands tremble. Oh, Sanlang, you look awful. Feeling okay? Bai Ruozhu pretended innocence, then feigned a sudden realization. Oh, she drawled, with a hint of mockery, ratcheting up the tension for Sanlang. Sanlang, you didn't get spooked by what I said, did you? Bai Ruozhu chuckled. You're such a scaredy cat. Afraid of talking about other people's business, Sanlang's pale face flushed, the red creeping up to his ears. He glared at Bai Ruozhu, snapping, who's scared? Who said I don't look good? I just woke up, that's all. Bai Ruozhu ignored him, turning to her father. Dad, please go to the authorities. Whoever stole it needs to face the music. Bai Yihong nodded, bid the old man farewell, and prepared to head to the town's yamen, government office. The old man, catching on, stopped Bai Yihong. Don't bother the magistrate with every little thing. Can't the village handle it first? Don't I still have a say around here? Grandpa, I know you're looking out for me, but I have no clue who did this. I'm afraid we can't figure it out on our own. Better to report it sooner rather than later. We've always been safe here. This thief needs to be caught, or will just be the first of many victims, Bai Ruozhu said calmly, leaving the old man speechless. Just then, Bai Yibo stumbled out of the back room, yawning. He was cut from the same cloth as Sanlang. What's all the yelling this early? Can't even keep track of your own stuff. Why make a scene? He turned to Bai Yihong. Little brother, you're being disrespectful. Don't drag me into every problem. Even easygoing Bai Yihong was irritated. He retorted, brother, that's twisting my words. I was already headed to the magistrate. Why bother Dad? Then go on, don't interrupt people's reading, Bai Yibo said, waving his hand dismissively. He was seemingly unaware of Sanlang's theft, otherwise how could he be so nonchalant? The old man glared at Bai Yibo. You've got nothing to do here. Go eat breakfast. Sanlang's face cycled between white and red, his eyes now filled with fear. He looked at Bai Yibo, calling out Dad in a pitiful voice. Bai Yibo, sensing something amiss, didn't press Sanlang. Instead, he said, "Dad, I'm not hungry yet. Let me see if I can help. If whoever stole the jade pendant just fessed up, I wouldn't waste my time arguing. But if the officials find out, even begging won't help," Bai Ruozhu said coolly. She had hoped to scare Sanlang into confessing, but he was scared stiff and still wouldn't admit it. Bai Ruozhu was getting anxious. After all, she had no proof. Even if she was convinced it was Sanlang, without evidence, she was stuck. Plus, Bai Yiba and Mrs. Wang would never let her search. Just as Bai Ruozhu was at a loss, Shiro wandered in from outside. He was covered in mud, his face blank as usual. The old lady, who'd been eavesdropping, saw Shiro and snapped, "Why are you acting crazy so early? You're too filthy to come in the house. It's bad luck." Shiro ignored her, heading straight for Bai Ruozhu. Everyone watched, wondering what he was up to. In the Bai family, Shiro was a bit of an enigma. "Third sister, we found it." He opened his small hand, revealing Bai Ruozhu's jade pendant. Bai Ruozhu stared at his dirty palms in surprise, reaching out to take it, when Sanlang screamed and snatched the jade pendant, shoving Shiro to the ground. It all happened in a flash. Before Bai Ruozhu could react, Sanlang had the jade pendant and Shiro was sprawled on the ground. "Sanlang, what are you doing?" Lin Ping'er was the first to react, rushing to help Shiro. His hands were scraped raw from the fall, drawing blood. At that moment, Mrs. Wang and the old lady barged in. Mrs. Wang shrieked, "What's going on? My own son doesn't need anyone else to discipline him." Got it, that the old man's face was thunderous. He glared at Sanlang and ordered, "Give Ruozhu back the jade pendant." Sanlang, who'd gone to such lengths to steal and hide the pendant, lost it in a moment of panic. He'd forgotten the old man was watching and snatched it from Shiro. Now, he regretted it. I thought Shiro stole it, and I wanted to teach him a lesson." Sanlang stammered. In his mind, Shiro barely spoke anyway. It wasn't a stretch to think the strangely behaving Shiro stole Bai Ruozhu's jade pendant, but Shiro didn't play along. Though his expression remained blank, he said clearly, "I saw my brother sneaking out last night to bury something. I just dug up the jade pendant." Sanlang lunged at Shiro, shoving him. If Lin Ping'er hadn't intervened, Shiro would have fallen again. "What are you babbling about? What do you know, you idiot? We feed you, and you turn on your own brother? You're out of your mind." Sanlang snarled, his eyes burning with rage. "Who is this person? Calling his own brother an idiot? And Shiro isn't stupid at all." Bai Ruozhu felt a surge of anger. Looking at Shiro, she saw a flicker of anger in his usually blank eyes. "Sanlang, what are you doing? Be honest." The old man roared, but it triggered a coughing fit, weakening his authority. Bai Ruozhu, feeling for Shiro, went to support his other arm. Glaring at Sanlang, she said, "You know what you did. I'm not going to argue with you. Stealing isn't okay. Shiro doesn't talk much, but he doesn't lie. Do you dare swear to God you didn't steal my jade pendant?" People feared ghosts and spirits and didn't swear lightly. Sanlang hesitated, but he snapped, "Why should I swear? You want me to swear? Did you find it on me? Do you have any proof I stole it? I bet you bribed Shiro to frame me." That's it for today. I'll bite the bullet and make more updates tomorrow. Chapter 89. No one wants it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Ruozhu just laughed, a harsh, mocking sound. "Need I frame you? Please. What's there about you worth framing?" Sanlang shot to his feet, stung. He heard the insult loud and clear. Bai Ruozhu thought he was beneath even the effort of a setup, that he was trash compared to Dalong and Erlang. Before Sanlang could sputter a defense, Bai Ruozhu challenged him. "I swear to God, I didn't team up with Xiaosi to set you up. Now, you swear you didn't steal my jade pendant." Sanlang hesitated, and Bai Ruozhu pounced. If I'm lying about teaming up with Xiaosi to frame you, may I drop dead. If you stole my jade pendant and gave it to Xiaosi, may you drop dead. She hadn't wanted to be so brutal, but Sanlang's behavior was beyond the pale. Stealing from his cousin, calling his 6-year-old brother an idiot, then shoving her brother when caught. He was pawn scum, pure and simple. Sanlang's face was purple with rage. Mrs. Wang exploded. Who do you think you are, you good-for-nothing, used-up garbage? You dare curse my son? I'll claw your eyes out. She lunged. Lin Pinger, never one to let anyone badmouth her daughter, shrieked and blocked Wang. The two women went at it, tooth and nail. The old man got to his feet, stomping. He grabbed at the air, but came up empty. He yelled, but nobody heard him. He could belt his son and grandson, but he couldn't physically drag his daughter-in-law off. He'd have to get the old lady. But she was smart enough to hide and pretend she heard nothing. Bai Ruozhu stayed put in the kitchen, afraid of getting caught in the crossfire and ruining her chances for a decent husband. By now, neighbors had caught wind of the commotion. They craned their necks over the wall and peeked through cracks in the door to see what the ruckus was all about at the Bai's place. A fight? That was entertainment. The old man, ignored and out of patience, stomped off into the house, probably to find his cane. Bai Hong's hands shook with anger. He roared, "Is it right for Sanlang to steal my daughter's engagement token? That thing was a keepsake from Chongqing, meant for Ruozhu and her kids. A person with any sense of decency wouldn't touch it. How can my sister-in-law do the opposite? Why scold my daughter? I treat my brother's family well, but today I need a good explanation." Bai Hong was a quiet, easygoing man who normally avoided conflict. But being easygoing didn't mean he didn't have a temper. In fact, when a quiet man blew up, it was all the more terrifying. His roar stopped Wang and Bai Ba in their tracks. The scene went dead silent. Then Shiro, with his usual blank expression, spoke up. "I'm not lying. When you hid the jade pendant, your clothes snagged on something. There's still a piece of cloth stuck somewhere." Everyone's eyes snapped to Sanlang. Sure enough, the corner of his clothing was ripped, not from normal wear and tear, but like it had been caught on a branch. A scrap of fabric was definitely missing. Bai Ruozhu thought, so much for him being stupid. She had completely underestimated his perception, his mind. And at such a young age. Wang rounded on Shiro, spitting, "You ungrateful little snake. Whose side are you on? Xiaosi can't lie. Does telling the truth make him wrong? Fine, if you don't believe it, I'll report to the authorities now and let the boss decide." Bai Ruozhu retorted. The word authorities hit a raw nerve. Sanlang screamed like a wounded animal and charged, shoving Bai Ruozhu hard. She hadn't expected him to attack. Lin Pinger was still battling Wang, and Bai Hong was face to face with his older brother. Bai Ruozhu crashed to the ground. She gasped, and Xiaosi, who had been standing by, suddenly roared and launched himself at Sanlang like a wildcat. His small body slammed into Sanlang. Xiaosi fought with insane fury, but he was small and weak. Sanlang, recovering quickly, punched him, sending him sprawling. A dark bruise blossomed around his eye. But Xiaosi didn't cry, didn't whine. His face, even smeared with blood, was devoid of fear. He looked like he wanted to devour Sanlang, and even Sanlang flinched at the ferocity in his gaze. Lin Pinger, frantic about her daughter, ripped a handful of hair from Wang's head and rushed to Bai Ruozhu's side. "Ruozhu, are you all right?" Lin Pinger's voice trembled. She was more scared than Bai Ruozhu. Bai Hong's eyes turned bloodshot. He spun around and charged Sanlang. He pulled Sanlang up. Sanlang wasn't used to hard labor and stood no chance against Bai Hong. Bai Hong punched him square in the stomach. "You little punk, I'll teach you a lesson you won't forget." Bai Hong was seeing red. Bai Ba cursed and piled on. All three went at it. "Oh, my hair. Lin Pinger, you crazy woman, you're trying to kill me. They're ganging up on my Sanlang." I can't take it anymore. I'll hang myself in your Bai house. Everyone will see how your poisonous second wife drove us to our grave. Wang shrieked, clutching her bald spot. Lin Ping'er helped Bai Ruozhu sit up. Bai Ruozhu struggled for breath. The sudden fall with her heavy belly had left her winded, and without help, it would have been hard to sit up. She clutched her stomach, her face ashen, her brow furrowed. Mom, my stomach hurts. Lin Ping'er glanced down and saw that Bai Ruozhu's skirt was stained a light pink. Her water had broken, and mixed with the blood, it looked pinkish. Your water broke. Don't worry. Mom will get you home. Lin Ping'er's hands shook as she spoke. She was more terrified than Bai Ruozhu. Once the amniotic sac ruptured, childbirth usually followed quickly. But there were also dangerous situations where labor didn't start after the water broke, causing delays. That was the worst scenario. In ancient times, modern medical technology was not developed. If the water broke, it could cause intrauterine contamination, or the amniotic fluid would become less and less, causing the child to suffocate. Especially if the water breaks in abnormal circumstances, such as Bai Ruozhu suddenly falling down. Old Mrs. Bai was a fearful, timid woman. Seeing Bai Ruozhu like this, she screeched, "Stop fighting. Don't make trouble here. If Ruozhu's going into labor, get her home now." In reality, she was afraid of Bai Ruozhu and the child dying in the old house, because then they would be haunted by evil spirits. When Bai Yihong heard this, he forgot all about hitting Sanlang. He turned to his daughter. As he did, Sanlang got up. He grabbed a rock and with a desperate motion, and bashed Bai Yihong over the head. Fortunately, Bai Yihong had sensed the wind behind him and instinctively leaned to the side. The rock still hit his forehead and drew blood, but it was a lot better than getting hit in the back of the head. Bai Ruozhu saw her father attacked and screamed, but it was too late. Saburo hurled the stone to the ground and stomped on it with all his might, screaming, "If I can't have it, no one can." Chapter 90. The jade is broken. This hatred will never be forgotten. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bang! The sound was sharp and cut through the quiet courtyard. Everyone turned to see Bai Ruozhu's jade pendant shattered on the ground. Her eyes widened. Stay calm, she told herself, taking a deep breath. She glared at Sanlang. Blood relation. Cousin. Forget it, she vowed Sanlang wouldn't get away with this. You little brat. Bai Yihong hadn't even had a chance to yell at Sanlang for the head wound. Now, seeing the broken jade, his face went red and he lunged at Sanlang again. Bai Ruozhu screamed, trying to pull her father back. Dad! Second brother's trying to kill your grandson. Help! Bai Yiba yelled like he was being slaughtered. The old man, cane in hand, charged out, swinging at Bai Yihong, Bai Yiba, and Sanlang, yelling, "I'm not dead yet. I told you to stop. I told you." Bai Yiba and Sanlang dodged, but Bai Yihong stood his ground, taking the blows. Bai Ruozhu felt a pang of distress. Why is he so stubborn? It reminded her of her past life, when her father would beat her for no reason, whenever he was in a bad mood. She, like Bai Yihong now, had felt she was right and refused to run, choosing to be beaten rather than back down. Years later, she'd realized how foolish she'd been. If she'd done nothing wrong, why take the beating? Now, seeing her father suffer, she felt it even more keenly. Dad, I'm about to have this baby, let's just go, Bai Ruozhu said, exhausted and disappointed with the old man. He could enforce his family rules, but Bai Yihong wasn't the one who deserved punishment today. Bai Yihong stopped fighting and rushed to help his daughter, but Bai Ruozhu said, "My water broke. I can't stand. Dad, can you find a cart to take me home?" Seeing her soaked skirt, Bai Yihong didn't hesitate. He went to get the cart, but Wang threw herself in front of it. "You're not taking this cart!" she screamed. "He hurt my son. You think you can just waltz in here and take what you want? No way." The old man, realizing the urgency, snapped, old woman, quit it. Let your brother use the cart, but Wang refused, lying stubbornly in front of the cart, blocking Bai Yihong. He was beside himself, desperate, but unsure how to move his sister-in-law. Only Lin Pinger could usually control Wang, but Lin Pinger wouldn't leave her daughter's side for a second, fearing the big house would hurt her again. They were capable of anything. Just then, a woman's voice called from over the courtyard wall, "Hong, take my cart. Get your daughter home to have that baby." That it was Mrs. Zhang from next door. She'd been watching, but couldn't take it anymore. Stepping back from the wall, she muttered, "It's a sin, keeping a woman from her baby. They have hearts of stone." Mrs. Zhang's voice wasn't quiet. Everyone in the Bai family heard her. The old man's face darkened. The Bai family had truly disgraced themselves today. He glared at his 2 sons and 2 grandsons, inwardly fuming. Sanlang shouldn't have taken it. He couldn't bring himself to say stolen. He wouldn't admit a Bai family member was a thief, so he called it taking. And his eldest son couldn't control his own son, and his busybody mother-in-law made things worse. This commotion might even ruin his chances at the school. Actually, Bai Yiba had no desire to teach at the village school. He looked down on it, thinking it was exhausting and beneath him. He was too lazy to work hard. The old man watched Bai Yihong leave to get the neighbor's cart and sighed. His second son was a fool, too. Couldn't they have discussed this calmly? It was just a jade pendant. Was it worth destroying family harmony? Now the whole neighborhood knew, shaming the Bai family. He glanced at Shiro, thinking him ignorant or stupid. Even if he knew the truth, he should have spoken privately, not added fuel to the fire. Finally, his eyes landed on Bai Ruozhu. There was no worry or pity in his gaze, only cold disapproval. Why did she have to make such a scene over a jade pendant? Even if Sanlang took it, it would still stay in the family, right? She'd completely ruined the Bai family's reputation. Bai Ruozhu saw his look, full of resentment. She felt disgusted. The old man, a scholar, condoned theft. The big house was beyond redemption. Bai Yihong returned with the cart from next door, carefully lifted Bai Ruozhu in, and said, choked with emotion, "Daughter, we're taking you home. We won't let you get upset like this again." Turning, he glared at Bai Yiba, who flinched back. Then he went straight to the broken jade pendant, picked it up, and clutched it in his hand, pushing the cart with Bai Ruozhu. Bai Yihong said, his eyes red, "Daughter, it's my fault. You were attacked, and your engagement token destroyed. It's all my fault." Lin Pinger followed, protecting Bai Ruozhu, and burst into tears. Her vision blurred, and she stumbled. The 3 left the old house, one with red eyes, one sobbing. Bai Ruozhu, pregnant and lying in the cart, skirt soaked, caused a stir in the village. Many felt sorry for the Bai family's second son. Such honest people, who were they bothering? Bai Ruozhu had taken the broken pendant from her father. She laid it flat in her hand and wept. Raising her other arm, she wiped her tears. She wasn't strong enough yet, so others bullied her, and her family, wiping her tears. Bai Ruozhu calmed down first. Her voice trembled, "Dad, Mom, I'm okay. Calm down. There's no point in getting angry at them. We'll settle this later." Lin Pinger choked back sobs, wiped her tears, and whispered, "Okay, we will do what you say. Mom, go to town and ask Dr. Lu to come and stay with me until the baby is born. I'll pay her extra if the fees aren't enough." This wasn't the time to save money. Fortunately, Bai Ruozhu had made some money selling dried fish. "Yes, I'll go find Dr. Lu." Lin Pinger snapped out of it, turned, and ran toward the village entrance.